Hello everybody, my name is Jacob Toronto of ChasingCinema.com. I finally got back to my car. CinemaCon has come to an end. It has been an exhausting week, but so much fun has happened. As you can see, I've already posted some interviews that I had today, which was awesome experience. I interviewed people from, such as Rose Byrne, Jude Law, Paul Feig, the new Fantastic Four crew, 50 Cent. I met Guillermo del Toro. I had interviewed... Who else? Ellen Arkin, Paul Rudd, a bunch of people that you'll be able to see all on our YouTube channel. So for the next couple days, I'll be posting a lot of the interviews. Some of the press conferences, most of them are press conferences because the one-on-one interviews were not supposed to be recorded. So I spent the majority of time recording the ones where we actually had a press conference, like you would see in sports and stuff like that. But another awesome aspect of today was the Universal presentation. I'm going to take this off because I don't need it now. The Universal presentation, which basically showed all of their latest films from their latest films coming out in 2015. And they talked about some other stuff. There was a major announcement, but that I am going to do in a separate video, so make sure to go check out that video. When we talk about Universal's major announcement about their biggest franchise. But before you go over there, let's talk about some other things that they showed today. For the majority of Universal's presentation, at least in the beginning, we talked about the success of 50 Shades of Grey, and we got official release dates for the next 50 Shades movie. For 50 Shades Darker, we have February 10th, 2017, and 50 Shades of Freed, we have February 9th, 2018. So we are going to try to keep the Valentine's Day releases, obviously. Yes, you did see some paper. I'm going through my notes because there's been so much information dropped today and so much stuff going on. It's hard for me not to have to reference something and look, so I hope you don't mind that. Elizabeth Banks came out on stage and talked a little bit. She was there for the awards ceremony as well. Unfortunately, I did not get to interview her or even meet her or run into her like I did Del Toro. I even ran into Superman himself, Henry Cavill, which was very, very cool. But she was there to promote Pitch Perfect 2. I was not a fan of Pitch Perfect 1, so this was not really exciting. And the clip they showed us pretty much showed us the whole movie. So, yeah. Anyway, then we had M. Night Shyamalan come out and talk about his new thriller, The Visit. And we saw a clip from that. And, he said that his goal for this film was to be the loudest, funnest, this is his quotes, not mine, movie on the big screen. And The Visit seems to follow two young children who are staying with their grandparents and realize there's some fishy stuff going on at night. And it looks like a very fun thriller movie. I know M. Night Shyamalan has received a lot of criticism in his later films after Signs and Sixth Sense, which most people generally do enjoy. And people aren't very warm to. I will say this movie did look kind of fun. It does look like somewhat of a found footage film, or at least uses elements of found footage. So I'm interested. It looked fun, and he made it seem like it'd be a really good time in the theater. And I think everything's good in the theater. If you guys are watching movies on your phone, stop it. Watch it on the big screen, or at least at home in the big screen on TV, not on your no phone or no tablet, unless you're on like a plane or something. There's circumstances maybe. But you guys need to go to the theater. That's what CinemaCon's all about. It's really celebrating the theater. That's why a lot of these people are talking about theaters, by the way. We also had the director of Everest come out. This new film that's going to be coming out in September of September 18th, actually, of this year. And he wanted to make this movie about a bunch of people climbing Mount Everest, and not so much the climb, but it's actually the climb down because they hit a major storm on their way down from Everest. And he wanted to make it as authentic as possible. And he also said that it was a spectacle that only could be seen in your local cinemas. So from what I saw from that film, that movie looks awesome. It looks shot beautifully. The effects were awesome. It looks very intense. It really excited me. That was one that I was like, oh, wow. Because, even after Sony's presentation and this presentation, I wouldn't say there was anything like, oh my God, about any of them. There's some cool stuff. This was definitely one thing that I was like, all right, that's awesome. I'm in for Everest. Then, a gentleman that I was able to run into and meet, yeah, you could see my picture with him on Instagram and Twitter. You can find all my photos and Twitters and tweets and all that fun stuff. I don't know why I didn't mean to call them Twitters. I sound kind of old because, like, I don't want to sound like I don't know what I'm talking about when I say Twitter. But then again, like, I don't want to say, oh, I'm not old, I'm real young, either. So, find all my social media channels down here in the description box. Del Toro came out and advertised his film coming out in October, which is called Crimson Peak. And he says that... let me see what I wrote for him. He was saying that this film was a gothic romance, a romantic gothic picture, and that it does have elements of horror, but it has spectacle and suspense, and a really beautiful story. And from what I saw, I was also really intrigued. I'm a huge Del Toro fan. I love Pan's Labyrinth. I think that's one of the... just an incredibly amazing movie. Even though I wasn't crazy about Pacific Rim like everyone else was, I think that he's a very powerful filmmaker, and he was so nice, and such a pleasure to meet him. He was actually coming out of the theater with Chris Pratt, and while Chris Pratt was being surrounded by many bodyguards and a bunch of fans, Del Toro was just kind of walking behind him a little bit, one bodyguard, and I snuck in and said, oh my God, Del Toro, let me take a picture, and I kind of geeked out. It doesn't happen very often to me. The biggest time I ever really geeked out was with Nicolas Cage at Mandalay Bay. I'm a huge Nicolas Cage fan. Well, his older stuff. But Del Toro was pretty awesome to finally meet. I would say next we had the Minions, and Chris Melandri came out and talked about the Minions prequel, Before Despicable Me, that was coming out in July 2010, which was really, really awesome in its own right. 3D trailer, which was cool, a little bit extended. I love the Minions. They crack me up. It's a lot of slapstick humor, very Three Stooges type humor, if you will. Looks very silly, looks very fun. But I could not stop being excited for the film that they advertised next, which Gary Gray came out and talked about his new film, Straight Outta Compton, which is going to be hitting theaters on August 14th. In that film, he talked about how it took a lot of courage to make that movie for a lot of studios, especially Universal, to really take this movie and kind of take it seriously and allow it to be a major motion picture. He said it's about the American dream, and I'm not sure if any of you are very familiar with NWA. I was a big NWA fan when I was younger. I would definitely respect hip-hop and rap, and especially what NWA did for a lot of people. And Ice Cube was there, Dr. Dre was there, and I think a lot of people are kind of quick to judge this movie, not knowing what NWA is, and who they're in their music, and what they really did. Most people are kind of here, it's a movie about rappers, and they kind of have that, those gangster, not 1920, but obviously like the 1990s gangster type movies, and I think they're just being way too quick to judge, because there's some really wonderful stuff that I'm sure they're going to explore in this film. And NWA was a huge thing. Sorry, I have to grab my charger. And talked a lot about freedom of expression, and really took rap into a whole other direction. So I think there's a lot of that story that needs to be told. It also took place during the King trials. Oh my God, why am I spacing on his name? I keep wanting to say Larry King, but that's not right. Excuse me, I can't believe I'm blanking right now. Anyway, it takes this trials where this gentleman was beat by the police and was caught on video, and the officers involved were still found innocent. I know that name's in the country right now. I can't believe I'm forgetting, guys. I'm sorry. That happened at the same exact time. So there was a lot of stuff that kind of happened around this whole band and this whole group, NWA, and I'm very excited for that movie. And honestly, from what I've seen so far, I think it's going to be one of the best movies of the year. And I'm telling you now, it's early, I'm telling you that's going to be one of the best movies of the year, because there's so much involved. We also saw clips from Ted 2 with Seth MacFarlane introduced. Amy Schumer showed her new film, Trainwreck, and Jason Moore showed his new film, Sisters, with Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. Pretty cool stuff. But make sure to check out what that big announcement was, because there was one major announcement that I'm not talking about, but I talk about in another video. So go hit the subscribe button. So each time I have anything and you want to check out these interviews and anything else with movie news and casting details, I'm updating on it every day. Follow me and Chasing Cinema on our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, blah, 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 all our social channels right here in the description box. Comment, what of these movies sound most interesting to you? Are you looking forward to any of these films? Let me know down in the comment section. My name is Jacob Toronto, and please continue chasing cinema.